Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Israelite Advanced Bible Study night, 4th of March, 2025. Okay, we'll be dealing with the Book of Enoch, and I'll be dealing with the last. I think it's 5 or 6 chapters, and they call the epistles of Enoch, and you're gonna see why they call them the epistles of Enoch. So that's what I'm gonna deal with tonight. Okay, so got a lot to do with where JC came from. Okay, or you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine the content within the video. It will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay, and the times that we're on live is Tuesday and Wednesday is 7 to 9 Central Time. We have our Women's Advanced Bible Study on Thursday nights. It's on our sister channel, which is Israel Wake Up. And that too is from 7 to 9 every Thursday night. Then we have our Men's Advanced Bible Study on Friday nights. It's from 7 to 9. It's here on Prophets of Awakening. We have 2 Shabbat classes, one in the morning, Saturday morning, 10 to 12 a.m. Then we come back in the evening and close out the Shabbat from 6 to 7 Central Time. And then we have a Sunday pretty much dialogue advanced Bible study for and it starts at 5 in the evening. So all those times that you feel the need to come in and check it out and mix up the scriptures with us, then you are welcome. Okay. For those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that were given to Moses by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our Israelite Advanced Bible Study. Okay, we're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, songs, current events. Then we go into a little need-to-know information. We'll open it up for some Q&A, any comments or dialogue, and then we go into our topic, which is reading out the Book of Enoch, so-called epistles of Enoch, right? Okay. So with that being said, and then we're gonna pick a scripture. Somebody will pick a scripture, and then we'll read it at the end of the class and break it down. Okay. So with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts. All that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come before Thee, thanking You for Your mercy and Your great power. We appreciate You, O Lord, for Your patience and guidance in these last days. Oh Lord, we thank You for Your awakening of us to this great understanding of Your word. When we come before You to keep and direct and guide us through the upcoming week. Oh Lord, there are trials and pestilence and mayhem at every turn. And we see Your mighty hand in the world's affairs and how You are constructing Your people's deliverance. And we trust and rely upon Thee. And for this cause, we honor and respect You greatly. Turn not Thy face from us, but allow us in our searching of You, O Lord, to find You and to dwell with You. Peace be unto You. Okay. With that being said, read the Psalms. Okay. I'll read Psalm 79. It's a prayer for destruction of the heathen. It's a psalm of Asaph. Okay. Um, okay. Computer tripping again. We're just gonna keep moving. All right. So, like I was saying, and I read verses 79 and 2 says, "The dead bodies of thy saints have they given to be meat unto the fowls of heaven, and the flesh of thy saints unto the beasts of the field." So when we see in Daniel chapter uh, 9, I think it is, it says that the saints of the Most High are going to take the kingdom. So we see who the saints are. The saints are, it ain't Jesus. And the servant ain't Jesus. So anyway, I had one more. It says, uh, a 7, it says, "For they have devoured Jacob," singular. It's called Jacob wrestled with the Lord of hosts. Right now, I was telling you, Jacob had 12 sons. That's why he used the singular that they want to try to make you think is JC in Isaiah 53. But we see it again right here. "For they have devoured Jacob and laid his dwelling place, and has wasted his dwelling place." So we see that he ain't talking about one man. He's talking about a group of people, which is Israelites, his servants, his saints. Okay. Any comments or questions?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir. Um, Psalm 79 starts out, who are the people who um, conquered conquered them and killed them and left them in, they killed the people of Jerusalem, the ones and piled them up in heaps. Who are those people who attacked them and killed them?
Chaldeans.
Okay. And they're pouring their hearts out and asking the Lord of hosts not to um, hold them guilty for their former sins. So what about that part? They're thinking that their former sins caused the Chaldeans to come and um, kill them, kill their neighbors and their people.
Well, when you understand, when you see who the psalmist is Asaph, first of all. So that's one of the reasons why you know it can't be Cyrus. I mean, it can't be when Antioch Epiphanes came, and you only had Solomon temple destroyed, and then Zerubbabel temple was destroyed. Well, we know that being who the psalmist is, it can't be uh, during the time of Antiochus, so it only leave one place, and it takes you back to Solomon. When Solomon temple was destroyed, which was the Chaldeans. That's how you write the divide there. And so, and we also know a time period in past because the psalmist is saying, "How long were you gonna be angry?" So it did. So whatever whoever this is, I mean ASAP, it can't be the temple was just destroyed. It's got to be a time period in past, or maybe 30 years or so in past, because he's asking the question, how long is Jerusalem gonna stay like this? And so if it's allowed to stay like that, then they know that they God, the Lord of hosts, is angry. Because when he's not angry, they're gonna see actions. Well, people coming back, and the temple they're gonna see movement like we're looking at right now. Okay. Anybody else?
Shalom. Also, when you're speaking on that, the, um, the people of Jerusalem, they thought that Jerusalem will never be destroyed. That's why they were feeling that comfortable there in Jerusalem?
Right. That was that was they was halted. They had got to the point where the Creator had given them had so much breaks and mercy, so they thought that it was impossible for the temple to be destroyed. But like I said, when you follow the story, you see that Zedekiah did when the Lord sent Jeremiah to the nation of Israel specifically. They had Zedekiah as the king, and he sent the letter to him by Barak, and he took the letter in front of all the princesses and burned the letter on the fire. That was the cue right there. That's the reason Jerusalem got burned in the houses, and that's the reason Zedekiah was done the way he was done. When the word came through Jeremiah, his prophet, Zedekiah, and then all the princes. And when you say princes, you're talking about every tribe got a leader, and that leader got a son, or he got sons. Those are princes. That's who the ones I told you they'll be at the gate. That's why the Most High says he loved the gate of Jerusalem, because that's where the princes, the royals, be at. That's why Esther kept running to the gate, to Mordecai. But yeah, that's what that was.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Let's play these videos and then break them down.
As you are probably well aware, President Trump imposed tariffs of 25% on Canada and Mexico. Well, this was something that he was planning to do a month ago, but paused it for 30 days. Well, as of this morning at 12 o'clock, we now have tariffs on goods coming in from Canada and Mexico. Look at this. It says Trump's tariff trade war as U.S. hit China, Canada, and Mexico. Here's a quick little summary. It says Trump imposed 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. China, good duties doubled to 20%, and Beijing is hitting back. According to Justin Trudeau, this is a trade war. That's what's happening as we speak. Later on today, President Trump is going to speak in front of Congress, but that might be, well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens there, because that might just be another announcement that's coming. So just bear with us. But why is Trump doing this, and how is this impacting you? Well, here's what you need to see. This is the United States trade deficit in goods with Mexico, Canada, and China. You can see right here, the trade deficit with China is sitting at negative $295 billion. That means we aren't doing what we should be doing. Okay, we aren't building our company. We're our country. We are helping China. We're doing more for China than China is doing for us. Look at Mexico. It's $172 billion as of 2024, and Canada is only $63 billion. Keep in mind, look what was going on when Trump was in office his first term. In 2020, Canada was only at negative 14 billion. Mexico was at 111 billion, and China was at 308 billion. Okay, so we're doing a lot worse, especially when it comes to Canada and Mexico. China, though, actually not bad, because when President Trump first came into office in 2017, we were seeing at $375 billion as a trade deficit to China. Now, 295. So again, that's a decent jump. Was that $80 billion? That's pretty good. But Mexico, you can see, that's a steep decline. And then obviously Canada, pretty big decline as well. So that, according to reports, is one of the reasons why President Trump is imposing these tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. But keep in mind, he's also said that he is going to impose additional tariffs on all countries, not just those three. Those are just the three we're starting with. But look at this. Here's the problem. China and Canada immediately retaliate against Trump's tariffs. They say Mexico is next. I want to read a little of this article to you. Look at this right here. It says Trump doubled the tariff on all Chinese imports to 20% from 10%. Those duties sit atop existing tariffs on hundreds of billions in Chinese goods. China and Canada immediately retaliated with tariffs on American goods, threatening to ignite a damaging trade war. Mexico said.
Okay. Any comments on that? What you think about that?
Shalom, everyone. That's a lot, because it's getting ready to be what we've talked about since you started talking about it. Get yourself in order. Although, we know the Lord of hosts has us, but we're no fools. We have to live every day. So, doing things,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
doing things that no one thought he would do, and now that he's doing it, these other nations are jumping on,
Everybody, well,
other countries jumping on, and it's just a lot. Shalom.
Okay. Anybody else?
Shalom. What's so ironic about it is that Canada is also with NATO, and the Canada president says, when he was doing his talk, he said that he feels sorry for the United States because he didn't say President Trump. He said Donald is, basically screwing you over. And he said they did have great relationships with the United States, but he also said he's going to see what happens, and so it seems like he's going to pull the plug on the electricity that's in the upper states that's going to need the electricity. He made that not as a threat, but to me, when he was speaking, it would sound like he was going to, go ahead on with it. He said if he does it, then you'll find out what happens. And China, as the gentleman was mentioning about how they were um, doing a lot, um, I still think that I may be wrong, although they're showing a favor to um, Africa, they also trying to double dip and do two things at one time. We're not looking at China with United States, but they are. And we're seeing that China is helping Africa. And then China wants to go and be with Russia. So China has some, a magnifying glass need to be looked at them because they want to be friends with everybody, seeming to be, but yet talking about, um, you know, the United States, which Donald Trump, the president, is doing a lot of moves that's not need to be made. I don't know what he's working off of, but yeah, as we are here now in this country, it's a lot that's going to hit the fan faster than I think we prepared for.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Play this right here and then we'll talk about it.
welcome back to the channel. There's no surprise here at all, but I'm still going to talk about it. Anyway, let's go ahead and share this video. I have a very, very important and interesting topic I'm going to be going over today. So share the video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy the truth, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified each and every time we upload, hit the notification bell. Of course, leave your comment from the U.S. 2025 visa waiver list. All 54, Donald? All of them? So I want to say to you Black conservatives and you Black Republicans, if this does not convince you yet that this man is straight Ray Ray, I don't know what will. I can't believe that not one African country, not one, is able to be included. He had to exclude all 54. So we are going to get into this topic. I want you to go ahead and listen to the report on this. Of course, you know I will be right back. Are you tired of stuff falling between your armrest and your seat in your vehicle? I am.
The United States has updated its list of eligible countries for the 2025 visa waiver program, and none of the 54 African countries were included. The VWP allows citizens of select countries to travel to the U.S. for tourism or business without obtaining a visa, provided they secure prior approval through the electronic system for travel authorization and meet all necessary requirements. The exclusion of African countries is part of a broader trend of strict immigration policies under President Trump's administration. The updated list includes nations from Europe, Asia, and parts of the Middle East, but no African countries. This decision has raised questions about the criteria used for selection and the fairness of U.S. immigration policies. Concerns over immigration violations, fraud, security risks, asylum seekers, economic instability, and weak diplomatic ties have been cited as reasons for the high visa rejection rates for African applicants. The U.S. government has reiterated its focus on security and border control in selecting VWP participants. Regarding the potential racial component, U.S. immigration policy has been criticized for structural racism. Historical and systemic biases have influenced immigration policies, leading to disparities in how different groups are treated. For example, today's largely Latino undocumented immigrants face harsher consequences than white Europeans of years past for the same offense of unauthorized entry. The normalization of racist anti-immigrant rhetoric, racial profiling, and detention of Latino residents, as well as anti-Asian violence and anti-Blackness, highlight the deep intersections between the U.S. immigration system and racism. While the exclusion of African countries from the VWP may not be explicitly based on race, the broader context of U.S. immigration policy and its historical and systemic biases suggests that racial factors could play a role in the decision-making process.
Okay, so from my point of view, there is no justification from this. No justification for this at all. But we know what's actually going on. The explanation that they give, I think, is ridiculous. And I want to show you something here. There is absolutely no justification, but they have found a way to try to justify it. Let's take a look at this right here. This is the Instagram page for First Post. They said President Trump's administration is leaving no stone unturned to show their distrust and discrimination against Africans. In a list released earlier this week, the administration has excluded all 54 countries in Africa from eligibility for a visa waiver that allows travelers to enter the United States for up to 90 days without a formal visa. In sharp contrast, the Trump administration has included nearly 40 countries in this year's list, most of which are U.S. allies from Europe and Asia. This has raised eyebrows over the ongoing challenges that African nations face in securing easier access to the United States.
Okay, any comments on that? Anybody heard anything about that?
Shalom. Yes, sir, Brother Leonard. I watched her that video earlier, and I mean, it's just a sign. It's just more signs revving up on us to get out of here, in my opinion, because I'm just seeing on all fronts where, all right, if you don't want Africans coming over here, you think they want to keep looking at the ones that's already here, meaning like us from the transatlantic slave trade, because the ones that are illegal on the immigration list, they're already on the list and have been and are gonna be sent out of here. So then us with them changing what the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, those really have to deal with us. They've also he been telling people, told them stop recruiting black people in the military. on the police forces. It just sounds like they're about to kick us out of here.
Exactly right. Yeah, they got some plan. Definitely got some plan. Yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay. So we got some need to know information right here. I thought this is pretty interesting. Let's check it out.
Roles. In the Renaissance, there was a shift toward highlighting Jesus's humanity, focusing on his
This is the big news the Pope came up with.
compassion and suffering. The Reformation brought even more changes, emphasizing personal faith and the authority of Scripture. Reformers like Martin Luther and John Calvin challenged the established church's teachings, which led to many different interpretations and practices within Christianity. In the modern era, the way people see and depict Jesus keeps changing to reflect cultural and social shifts. Movies and art from the 20th and 21st centuries often showed Jesus as a relatable and revolutionary figure, focusing on his messages of love, equality, and social justice. Christianity, being a global faith, has diverse cultural expressions, so the understanding of Jesus can vary widely. In African Christianity, Jesus is often seen as a liberator and healer, resonating with themes of freedom and deliverance. In Latin America, liberation theology views Jesus as a champion of the poor and oppressed, inspiring social and political movements for justice. In Asian Christianity, especially in countries like India and China, local philosophies and traditions are often integrated, presenting Jesus in ways that resonate with indigenous spiritualities. Similarly, indigenous Christianities around the world incorporate cultural symbols and practices, offering unique perspectives on Jesus' life and teachings. Understanding how people have viewed Jesus throughout history helps us interpret Pope Francis's recent revelation. By looking at traditional teachings, key events, theological perspectives, and diverse cultural expressions, we get a complete picture of how Jesus has been seen over the centuries. This background allows us to fully grasp the potential impact of the Pope's new insights and interpretations.
Here we go.
On what seemed like an ordinary Sunday at St. Peter's Basilica, Pope Francis delivered a homily that would echo worldwide. With a calm but profound tone, he spoke about a new understanding of Jesus' mission that challenges long held beliefs. According to the Pope, this revelation aims not to undermine the Church's foundational teachings, but to enrich and deepen our understanding of Jesus' true message. Pope Francis emphasized that Jesus' life and ministry were rooted in radical inclusiveness and social justice. He pointed out that many traditional interpretations have overlooked or downplayed these aspects. The Pope highlighted specific instances from the Gospels where Jesus reached out to the marginalized, broke societal norms, and preached a message of love that transcended boundaries. This revelation is part of a broader conversation within the Church. Pope Francis has consistently advocated for re-examining and reinterpreting Christian teachings to make them more relevant to contemporary society. His focus on mercy, compassion, and inclusiveness has been a defining feature of his papacy. The timing of this revelation is crucial. The world is currently grappling with social inequality, racial injustice, environmental crisis, and global pandemics. In this context, Pope Francis's message of love, justice, and inclusivity resonates deeply. Reactions to Pope Francis's statement were mixed, reflecting the diverse perspectives within the Catholic community and beyond. Many praised the Pope for his courage and vision, viewing his revelation as a necessary step toward a more inclusive and compassionate church. However, some traditionalists expressed concern and criticism, seeing the statement as a departure from established doctrine. These voices argue that reinterpretation of Jesus' message should be approached with caution to ensure it remains faithful to the core tenets of Christian faith. Pope Francis's revelation carries significant theological implications, inviting believers to revisit core aspects of Jesus' teachings. By highlighting radical inclusiveness and social justice, the Pope challenges us to view Jesus not only as a savior, but also as a revolutionary figure who sought to transform society. This new perspective could reshape how the church engages with contemporary issues, inspiring more active involvement in social justice movements.
Okay. Anybody, what you think about that? Any comments on that? Like I said before, he's a concocted figure, and whatever the times is, they can flip and dip and change him. He's just like a reptile. They can flip and dip and change him and flip him around and make him relevant to anything that's happening, because that's how he was when they created him. Okay? And the regular lowly Christian, when they see that happening, they get a problem with it, not understanding that the only way they can do that is that it can't be, I mean, either what you said happened and it happened the way you said it happened, or you've been hoodwinked. And they can't see that part of it. And they go to changing the flipping things around, they can't see that it's who he really is. Any comments?
Shalom, brother Leonard. That guy that's the president of China, I
Right.
seen a while ago they got a Bible that they're working on of doing just what you were talking about.
Okay.
Making it relevant to the, like, you know, to their people or whatever for these times, like
Right.
putting his name in it and stuff like that. Cause I seen last year they had bought like some Bible rights from the Vatican or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I remember that. I remember that.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Is that something? Anybody else? Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they came across over the last week or so? Anything came up? Research you want to talk about? Any question came up? Okay.
Shalom, brother Leonard. I was gonna ask if you seen that series, The House of Israel, the House of David, that they just came out with.
Yeah, it's been popping up, but I ain't never wrapped my head around the start trying to watch it. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
been popping up.
I think you should watch it. I want to know what you think about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna check some of that out. Yeah, it keep popping up, but I never zeroed in on it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay,
Anybody else
and
got
so
anything? Go ahead.
okay, but my question about that, because you haven't seen it, but on the show, it kind of depicts David as uh, like kind of being hard headed when he was younger.
Right.
Is there anywhere in the text that says that? Because
No.
see, I didn't think so. Because they make it seem like sheep herding is such a low job, like in
Right.
everything. You know, coming to America, that's why they made him a goat herder, because that sounded funny. But on the show House of David, he was banished. It was like he was banished to watch the sheep because he kept
Okay.
not
Yeah.
listening to Jesse.
Right. That makes sense, right? What they did the rest of our forefathers. how they denigrated Noah, how they denigrated Jacob. So it only makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, you seen that, you saw how that, I talked about it a little bit when it came out, but that last 10 commandments, when Moses was dealing with God, he was leaving and the people was wanting to know why, where he going, who is he going to talk to and all that. And then they finally showed it and they had God depict the other little white boy. Did you see that?
I didn't finish that series. Yeah, that's the one on Netflix. I did not know that they did that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
they picked him as a little boy. He was talking to Moses, talking to God was a young boy, like 12 years old. He's talking, then he came back again. He appeared as a man, but then at one time he came in, he was like a young boy. But that's how that's the way they operate. That's their way of rubbing things in our face. You know what I'm saying?
It sound like
Yeah.
too they making them shapeshift, appearing
Right,
in
exactly. Right,
different forms.
exactly. Right, exactly. Is there something? Anybody else?
So,
Okay, yeah. So nobody have anything? I was gonna play this. It's just like some need to know information, but it's on what's going on in Ghana. Play this, we go into the class.
YouTube pre.
Get matched today with the tax expert who's just right for your situation. They'll do your taxes.
It's a lot of fake chiefs out.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's I moved from the U.S. to Ghana. Very soon, a lot of black people will be moving to Africa. So he's saying that in the very near future, this will be a mass migration out of here. But check it out.
Here. We could talk about that. There's a lot of people who've been made queen mother. Man, all these imposters. Oh, I'm a queen mother here. I'm a chief here. I'm a. Oh, please don't talk about Lisa Ray, the queen mother of Ghana.
Okay, so one of the stories we talked about is so now you went from first lady of the Turks and the Caicos, and now you're the queen of Ghana, queen mother of Ghana. Okay, yeah. And that's really.
She's a dick. It's not even her fault. She just didn't get the proper education. Right. Oh, I'm a queen mother in this town. I'm a chief in this town. Nana, I wear my antoma. I got my horse with. Oh, bless you. Sit your ass down. You ain't doing shit. Little old you. We don't even know if you're gonna make it in Ghana. Who are you that we want to keep out? What have you done? I don't even know your name. I have nothing against you. So what would we do to keep you out? Some of y'all don't deserve it. Some of y'all need to be de-stooled. It's 2025, bro. This is one thing I'll tell you. And I want you to think about this. 2025 is the last year of the first quarter of this century. It was the transatlantic slave trade. If you ain't wipe us out then, you lost your chance. Now, Africans are coming home. We're becoming more conscious. We're saying that there are other options outside of America. We're saying that you can do things differently. Because now, beyond this, damn, in America, it's illegal to grow your own food in places. Think about what the hell? Why would you make it illegal for me to grow my own food?
Did you know that according to the U.S. Supreme Court, it's actually illegal to grow your own food in the United States? Over 80 years ago, the court ruled in the case of Wicker versus Filburn that growing food for personal consumption is unlawful.
In the next 25 years, I guarantee you, you're going to see more black people returning to Africa than you ever had because the world has lost their cotton picking mind. Telling me I can't grow my own food? I know that I've met some Ghanaians, some Nigerians, some Sierra Leoneans whose ancestors had to be the ones that told us because these cats so greedy right now that traitorous it's probably not even a word. The behavior that it requires for somebody to sell their own people into bondage is happening now. What's the difference between selling your people into bondage and selling the same piece of land 12 times? What's the big difference? Why were you born at this time? Why weren't you born in 1800, 1900?
right? 1950, 1600. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. We didn't get to decide when we would come into this earth. So we were all born at the time that we were born for specific reasons. Just like your ancestors were born at the time that they were born for specific reasons. Because if some of y'all was to replace your ancestors, your family line might not make it because a lot of y'all weak. So some of you had to be born later. You couldn't have replaced your great-great-great-grandfather because you might not have made that journey. That was his cross to bear, so to speak, her cross. It's not all chiefs who get disrespect, but we give it to you because of who you are and how you are with us. You've earned it. So they've helped me to be okay with letting somebody take my bag. You understand? Yeah. With taking the food, with having my clothes being washed. Those are small things, but with being served, because I'm also serving the people. What king does not serve his people? Who made you a king if you have a crown and you're not serving your people? That's why they say heavy. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's not heavy because that metaphor doesn't come from, the heaviness is not because of all the gold in your pocket. The heaviness is because of the responsibility on your shoulders. Ghana CDs. And my first complaint, you took off 350 Ghana CDs. That means you was willing to charge me that if, but then I was talking to another friend of mine and I forget exactly how he said it, but he said value is in the eye of the beholder. So if you felt it was worth 500 Ghana CDs and you paid it, am I wrong for charging you 500 Ghana CDs? I'm on both sides of this thing. So it's like, I'm still dealing with it. I'm still learning it, but it's interesting because, you know, I was saying, if I have a plot of land and you have a plot of land next to each other, and you have a difficult time selling your plot of land for $100,000, so you settle for $60,000, and I'm right next to you, and I sell my plot of land for $500,000, am I overcharging or are you undercharging?
It's an art.
You, and the whole time you're watching, you would take the time to see who's learning the culture, who's authentic, who actually cares. But then we already talked about it. Half of you is trying to get me too. Right? Half of you is trying to get me. And I'm, you know, so it's bro, it's 2025, bro. This is one thing I'll tell you. And I want you to think about this. 2025 is the last year of the first quarter of this century.
And how important is it for people to start moving outside of Accra and developing on the outskirts rather than everybody focusing on Accra?
Well, if you're smart, this is how suburbs got created in the US. If you're smart, you'll do it before the land gets too expensive out here. You'll do it while the land is still fairly inexpensive, right? That's number one. Number two, I don't know that people have to begin to move outside of our crowd, but eventually you'll be forced to. And here, like you asked me about bringing all Black people to Africa. We definitely are not interested in any and everybody coming here. I mean, nobody can stop you from buying, building a house, and doing what you want to do. But we definitely looking for families, retirees, and other people who want to come to this community and treat the people fair. We want honest people who want to come and actually help the community, not people who want to come take from the community. So, I mean, when you open it up, you don't know who you're getting, which is fine.
So that means you vet them. Are you going to vet these people who?
Well, it's not for the particular communities that we are in charge of. It's not just it's somewhat vetted. Okay. So it's not just if you have your money you can come, but it's the questionnaires that you have to complete before you purchase, right? So, but beyond just having the money, you know, are you the right profile? Is this the right kind of place for you? Because if you think about it, if it's not the right kind of place for you, you're not going to be happy here either. So we want people who know what they're getting.
And what they're looking, who exactly look.
You're looking for this.
Yeah, you're looking. For, I'm looking for this. I'm okay. I see that you African centered. I see that you guys believe in African history, that kind of thing, and that's what the community center looks like, and that's what you.
Do you already have the renderings of it? The animations of
No. Okay. It's not complete yet. Okay. Not yet. Okay. Not yet. Some of it. If I did, I wouldn't give you that.
So what would it be the capacity in terms of people who would, be able to...
By the time, with the different kind of developments that we have here, by the time when we release our community development plan, and we're opening it with 1, 2, 3, 4. They were opening it with 5 developments because we have some in the mountain behind the house. We have some here. We have some here, and we have some inside the community, different ones. So we even have some, what are we calling, simple, basic Ghanaian style apartments that we're doing affordable for local people from Kaforja or nearby who want to come move and have a place like that. Okay. I think we'll probably be able to get a few hundred people, like permanently, between 300 and 500 people. We'll be able to move into these places.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
So it's not kind of shooting for the moon like, 1,500 people immediately, because you can grow too fast.
You crash.
You can grow too fast and lose control of the direction.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any comments on that? Yeah, so I'll play. Okay, go ahead.
I see why he said, not all the people, because there's some people, may not be right, like he's saying, to be there. They may not want to intermingle and be, like he talks about being a farmer and growing your own food. They may not want to do that, and they may want to take from somebody else or something. So I understand what he's saying about that part, about not all people. But he's saying also that, it's like, I guess, a slow process, because just a 1,000, can fit in this community that he's trying to put together, or less, however many he can put there, and he's trying to do that, I guess, with the community he has there. So it's going to be a process, because it's not like everybody's opening up to say, everybody come over. Shalom.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it got the name of the video is "I Moved from USA to Ghana." Very soon, there's a lot of black people. So I didn't play that part, but he was talking about how in all 54 different parts of Ghana, of Africa, they had these developments. So yeah. So I was showing you the scale. So it's a lot of plans in place. They in motion. So it's a matter. It's gonna come a time when, just like when they fled from the south and went to the north, it's gonna happen. And like I said before, when you look at the story with that is breaking down Zerubbabel, that story on Zerubbabel, the Chaldeans came to Jerusalem 3 times. They got 3 different groups of people, took them back. When they left after the 70 years was up and they came back in 3 different phases. Zerubbabel and Joshua came back, then Nehemiah came, then Ezra came. So it wasn't like it was one big mass exodus. They came in phases and waves back. So it's something to think about. Anybody else got any comments on that? Okay, yeah, so like I said, the topic inside the class for tonight it's the epistles of Enoch, right? So yeah, to me it's got a twist on it, because when I think of epistles, that's the letters, which we know has to do with us as Hebrew Israelites. What Paul and all them was writing was epistles. That's Christian stuff, right? But my reason why I'm going to be reading this is to show you that it's a reason why the life of Enoch is so important, and everything that Enoch done is so important, because of that template A lot of what they do, a lot of what they did with JC came from what creator or sit in place with Enoch. Like I said, all things was revealed to Enoch, but they tell us all things revealed to JC. He knows all things, but it's actually Enoch was the man. He was the one. He was the standard bearer, and so they had to denigrate the book of Enoch in order for the people to gravitate to JC. Because if you read the book of Enoch with in the right mindset, you can see that this way they pulling everything from. So with that being said, I'm gonna start reading. I don't know how far I'm gonna get, but starting at chapter 90. I don't know if a lot of people might not knew this, but starting at chapter 92 in the book of Enoch is it's called the Epistles of Enoch, right? And what's going on is the same thing they did with JC. They put all this information that Enoch gave, because Enoch was ascended to heaven. He brought back these books. Then the angels told him he had a certain amount of time to get those books to his son. And then Methuselah, and then he was going to be taken up. So Enoch it was urgent. And so I'm gonna start reading. It's in 92. It says, the book written by Enoch. Enoch indeed wrote a complete doctrine of wisdom, which is praised of all men and a judge of all the earth, for all my children who shall dwell on the earth. So let's read it again. The book written by Enoch. Enoch indeed wrote this complete doctrine of wisdom, which is praised of all men. And then remember what we talked about, who the judge is. The Lord of hosts, the judge, came and got the Israelites, the priests and the Levites specifically, to assist them in judging the earth, right? In the world. So it says, in praise of all men and a judge of all the earth, for all children, he not talking, all my children who shall dwell on the earth, and for the future generations who shall observe uprightness and peace. Let not your spirit be troubled on account of times, for the holy and the great one has appointed days for all things, and the righteous ones shall arise from sleep. There goes Ezekiel 37 right there. See that? The righteous one shall arise from sleep. He shall arise and walk in the paths of righteousness, right? And all his paths and conversations shall be in eternal goodness and grace. He will be gracious to the righteous and give him eternal righteousness, uprightness. And he will give him power so that he shall be endowed with goodness and righteousness. And he shall walk in eternal light, and sin shall perish in darkness forever, and shall no more be seen from that day and forevermore. That was 92. I'm in 91. We're going backward for some reason, but anyway, this is 91. And now my son Methuselah called to me. Check it out. So Methuselah is Enoch's son. You gotta look at this. Now Enoch telling Methuselah, now my son, call to me all thy brothers. Gather together to me all the sons of thy mother. For the word calls me. Yeah, the word calls me. And the Spirit is poured out upon me, that I may show you everything. That is where they get JC from. That shall befall you forever. Yeah, forever. Not till JC come, but forever. And there upon Methuselah went and there upon Methuselah went and summoned to him all his brothers and assembled his relatives. And he spoke unto all the children of righteousness and said, notice what he said, and he spake unto all the children of righteousness and said, hear ye sons of Enoch. See that? When the last time you heard that? Hear ye sons of Enoch, all the words of your father, and hearken aright to the voice of my mouth. For I exalt you, and I say unto you, beloved, love right uprightness, and walk therein. It's during the time of Enoch now. Love uprightness and walk therein. Draw not nigh to uprightness with a double heart. Right? So what we're doing now is Johnny come lately. This was the way, this how you operate in righteousness right here. Love uprightness and walk therein. Draw not nigh to uprightness with a double heart, and associate not with those of a double heart, but walk in righteousness, my sons, and it shall guide you on the good path, and righteousness shall be your companion. For I know that violence must increase in the earth, and a great chastisement be executed on the earth, and all uprightness come to an end. Yea, it shall be cut off from its roots, and its whole structure be destroyed, and uprightness shall again be consummated on the earth, and all the deeds of the unrighteousness, violence, and transgression shall prevail in a twofold degree. And when sin and uprightness and blasphemy and violence in all kinds of deeds increase, the apostasy and the transgression and the uncleanness increase, a great chastisement shall come from heaven upon all these, and the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and chastisement. So let's look at this. And the Holy Lord, will sound like JC to me, and the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and chastisement to execute judgment on the earth. In those days, violence shall be cut off from its root, and the root of uprightness together with deceit, and they shall be destroyed from under heaven. This is the flood. And all the idols of the heathen shall be abandoned, and the temple burning with fire, and they shall remove they shall be removed from the whole earth. So let's look at this. So if you ain't know it, it was temples all over the place. These angels and these giant fallen angels, they had temples built all over the place before the flood. And the waters came and covered them all up. That's what I was telling you about. All around them, I can imagine in a lot of other places, but all around the Mediterranean, these megalithic buildings, which is temples, that these giants and these angels that they had built, they under the water. So it says, the temples burning with fire, and they shall be removed from the whole earth. So that's why you don't see them. They're all under the water. You don't see them. And the heathen shall be cast into the judgment of fire, and shall perish in the wrath, and in grievous judgment forever. And the righteous shall arise from their sleep. It goes Ezekiel 37 again. And wisdom shall arise and be given unto them. And after that, the roots of unrighteousness shall be cut off, and the sinner shall be destroyed by the sword. Shall he be cut off from the blasphemers in every place. And those who are playing violence, look at this, those who playing violence, those people on earth that playing violence, shouldn't be hard to figure out who that is. And those who playing violence and those who commit blasphemy shall perish by the sword. And none, I tell you, my sons, and now I tell you, my sons, and show you the path of righteousness and the path of violence. And the two paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. Yea, I will show them to you again, that ye may know that when I come, that what will come to pass, and now hearken unto me, my sons, and walk in the paths of righteousness, and walk not in the paths of violence. For all who walk in the paths of uprightness, unrighteousness shall perish forever. So that was chapter 91. So he says, 91 ends, it says, for all, not some of them. Also, if you're fumbling with this, you know what I mean, and stressing out about it, then you ain't receiving it. So it says 52, for all who walk in the paths of unrighteousness shall perish forever. All who walk in the paths of unrighteousness shall perish forever. So their day is coming, no matter how it looks or how you feel about it. So anyway, 93. And after that, Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books. And Enoch said, so let's look at this big right here. This Ezekiel, this Enoch 93. And after that, Enoch gave and began to recount from the books. So you say, why is this so big? Daniel chapter 9. Ain't that what Daniel was doing? He was looking at the book of Jeremiah to figure out when the time period was going to come when the Most High was going to judge the Chaldeans. So here we go right here, our father Enoch doing the same thing. And after that, Enoch both gave and began to recount from the books. And Enoch said, concerning the children of righteousness, and concerning the elect of the world, and concerning the plant of uprightness, I will speak these things. Yea, I, Enoch, will declare them unto you, my son. Not Jesus. According to that which appeared to me in the heavenly vision, and which I have known through the world, through the word of the holy angels, and have learned from the heavenly tablets. And Enoch began to recount from the books, see that, and said, I was born the 7th in the first week, while judgment and righteousness endure. And after me there shall arise in the 2nd week great wickedness, and deceit shall have sprung up. And in it there shall be the first end, and in it man shall be saved, and in it a man shall be saved. And after it is ended, unrighteousness shall grow up, and a law shall be made for the sinners. And after that, in the 3rd week, it is closed. A man shall be elected as a plant of righteousness, righteous judgment, and his prosperity, posterity shall become the plant of righteousness forevermore. And after that, in the 4th week, that is closed, visions of the holy and righteous shall be seen, and a law for all generations, and enclosement shall be made for them. And after that, in the 5th week, it is closed, the house of glory and dominion shall be built forever. And after that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all them shall godlessly forsake wisdom, and in it a man shall ascend, and at its close the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire, and the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. And after that, in the 7th week, shall a apostate generation arise, and many shall be his deeds, and all his deeds shall be apostate, and at its close shall be elected, the elect righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness, to receive sevenfold instructions concerning all his creation. But who is there of all the children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? And who can think his thoughts? And who is there that can behold all the works of heaven? And how should there be one who could behold the heavens, and who is there that could understand the things of heaven and see the soul of a soul or a spirit, and could tell thereof, or ascend and see all their ends and think them to do like them? So right here, like I was telling you before, when you understand who these folks are, right here. right here is how JC came on the scene, right? Look at this. It says, to receive, only 35. This chapter 93. The mind of a Gentile, right? So it says, 34. The elect righteousness of the eternal plant of righteousness. 35. To receive sevenfold instructions concerning all his creation. And here you go. The question is posed. For who is there of all the children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? So this is why JC came in right here. That's how they concocted JC. And who can think his thoughts? And who is there that can behold all of heaven? And how should there be one who could behold the heavens, and who is there that could understand the things of heaven, and see the soul or a spirit, and could tell thereof, or sin and see all their ends, and think them to be like them? We know that's Enoch, but that's how the JC came about. 40. And who is there of all men that could know what is the breadth and the length of the earth? And who is among, and to whom has been shown the measure of all of them? Enoch, right? But they concocted JC, right? So 41. Or is there anyone who could discern the length of the heaven, and how great is its height, and upon what is its founded, and how great is the number of the stars, and where are all luminaries rest? Okay, now that was 91. Any comments, questions so far? Anybody got a question? 91.
Shalom. Excuse me, sir. Shalom. It's a lot of entanglement when you looking at this one, how they have, depicted it, because it's a lot of holy one, like you had said, that's when they try to throw JC in it. And if you don't look at this story and read this story and know how they keep tricking off the holy one in here for doing things, then it gets to be a little bit confusing. But I'm following you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? So what we're reading is, after Enoch ascended to heaven, and I got all the information, saw all these things like he just said. Who is it? Who is the person that seen all this? It was Enoch. After all that happened, he came back, and he had books, and his objective was, he was commanded to get all that knowledge to his son Methuselah, and then to preach to all his sons before he left. This is what we're reading. They took this right here. This is how they came concocted JC, and then turned around and denigrated this. Got you thinking that this ain't nothing. You don't need to read it. It's a fabrication. So anyway, 91. Got two 91s in here. I don't know what the deal is, but this 91. And after that, there shall be another, the 8th week, that of righteousness, and a sword shall be given to it by a righteous judgment, may be executed on the oppressor. So what this righteous judgment right here is, I showed you in Joel, is when the Most High raised up this in Ezekiel 37, the army, the whole house of Israel. He said, this how these bones is the whole house of Israel. They're on me. So they the ones, when he said the saints of the Most High gonna take the kingdom, that's the army. Verse 3, and sinners shall be delivered into the hands of the righteous, and at its close they shall acquire houses through their righteousness, and a house shall be built for the great King in glory forevermore, and all mankind shall look to the path of uprightness. And after that, in the 9th week, the righteous judgment shall be revealed to the whole world, and all who work, and all the works of godless shall vanish from the earth. and the world shall be written down for destruction. And after this, in the 10th week, in the 7th part, there shall be a great eternal judgment, in which he will execute vengeance among the angels, and the first heaven shall depart and pass away, and the new heaven. So this is where the revelation coming in. That's where they getting it from. And all powers of the heaven shall give sevenfold light, and after that there will be many weeks without number or forever, and all shall be in goodness and righteousness, and sin shall no more be mentioned forever. So I'll read one more chapter. I'll read chapter. Let me see down there. Okay, I'll read chapter 94. It says, "And now I say unto you, my son, love righteousness." It's Enoch talking to his sons. Go back, and Enoch was 7 from Adam. "And now I say unto you, my son, love righteousness, walk therein, for the path of righteousness are worthy of acceptation, but the path of unrighteousness shall suddenly be destroyed and vanished. And to certain men of a generation shall the path of violence and of death be revealed, and they shall hold themselves afar from them, and shall not follow them. And now I say unto you, the righteous, walk not in the path of wickedness, nor in the path of death, and draw not nigh to them, lest ye be destroyed. But seek and choose for yourselves righteousness and elect life, and walk in the path of peace, and ye shall live and prosper, and hold fast my words in the thoughts of your path." So see that right here? This is why they're telling you the book ain't no good. It says right here, hold fast to my words in the thoughts of your heart, and suffer them not to be effaced from your heart. So they took it away from us by denigrating the book. So you don't get that opportunity. It's coming back now. But anyway, for I know that sinners will tempt men to evilly entreat wisdom, so that no place may be found for her, and no manner of temptation may be minus. Woe, they go to woe, way back here, 7 from Adam. You know, back in the day, you thinking woe came on the scene with JC. So anyway, woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression, and lay deceit as a foundation, for they shall be suddenly overthrown, and they shall have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for from all their foundations shall they be overthrown, and by the sword shall they fall. And those who acquire gold and silver in judgment suddenly shall perish. Woe to you, you rich, for you have trusted in your riches, and from your riches shall ye depart, because ye have not remembered the Most High in the days of your riches. Ye have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and have become ready for the day of slaughter, and the day of darkness, and the day of the great judgment. Thus I speak and declare unto you, he who have created you will overthrow you, and for your fall there shall be no compassion. And your creator will rejoice at your destruction. So let's look at this, because we got this ass backwards. It's the creator. Enoch telling us, the Lord of hosts. So let it firmate 34. As for your fall, the wicked, when they fall. The little bitty ones, 6 months old on up, all of them, right? He says, for your fall, there have for your fall, there shall be no compassion. You ain't sitting around with no compassion, right? And 35, and your creator will rejoice at your destruction. Ain't no compassion when you find out who the wicked is. And the Creator don't give a damn. Okay? Let that frame made. Say 36. And your righteous ones in those days shall be a reproach to the sinners and to the godless. So those 7 angels, right? That nobody seems to know nothing about. Right here, your righteous ones in those days shall be a reproach to the sinner and the godless. So they're not gonna be sit back like they doing now. They're gonna be like Tasmanian devils. If you wicked as hell and you come from that root of wickedness, it's a problem. That's what Enoch telling you. Okay, I'll keep going. It's 95. Oh, that my eyes were a cloud of water. It's Enoch talking. That I might that I may weep over you and pour down my tears as a cloud of waters, that so I might rest from my troubles of heart. Who has permitted you to practice reproaches and wickedness, and so judgment shall overtake you, sinners. Fear ye not the sinners, ye righteous, for again will the Lord deliver them into your hand, that ye may execute judgment upon them according to your desires. Woe to you who formulate, I can't say that word, and antimus, which cannot be reversed. Healing shall therefore be far from you because of your sin. You who requite your neighbor with evil, for ye shall be requited according to your works. Woe to you, lying witnesses, and to those who weigh out injustice, for suddenly shall ye perish. And woe to you, sinners, for ye prosecute the righteous, for ye shall be delivered up and prosecuted because of injustice, and heavy shall its yoke be upon you. 96. Be hopeful, ye righteous, for suddenly shall the sinner perish before you, and ye shall have lordship over them according to your desires. And in the day of the tribulation of the sinners, read that again. In the day of the tribulation of the sinners, not Israelites. Tribulation is for the sinners. Your children shall mount and rise as eagles and higher than, see that? Let's go back. 3. And in the day of tribulation of the sinners, see, so they got us brainwashed. We tied ourselves to the tribulation, right? But look what it says. And in the day of the tribulation of the sinners, that's the wicked. 4. Your children shall mount up and rise as eagles. See that? And higher than the vulture will be their nest. And ye shall ascend and enter the crevices of the earth and the cliffs of the rocks forever as conquerors before the unrighteous, and the sirens shall sigh because of you and weep. Wherefore fear not, ye that have suffered. See that? Wherefore fear not, ye that have suffered. See that? So you're not going to, at the end, when the end comes, ain't no more suffering coming. We the ones already suffered. That's the crazy part about it. So it says, let me read it again. Start at 8. This is Enoch chapter 96 and 8. And the sirens shall sigh because of ye and weep. Wherefore fear not, ye that have suffered. For healing shall be your portion. See that? Not more suffering, more tribulation. Healing shall be your portion. And a bright light. That's Ezekiel, Isaiah 60. Arise and shine, for your light is come, right? And a bright light shall enlighten you, and the voice of rest ye shall hear from heaven. Woe unto you, ye sinners, for your riches make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts convict you of being sinners. And this fact shall be a testimony against you for a memorial of your evil deeds. Woe to you, who devour the finest of wheat, and drink wine in large bowls, and tread underfoot uh, the lowly with your might. And woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for suddenly shall ye be consumed and wither away, because you have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It shall be a memorial against you for evil. Woe to you, ye mighty, who with might oppress the righteous. For the day of your destruction is coming. In those days, many and good days shall come to the righteous. In those days, many and good days shall come to the righteous in the day of your judgment. So they done flipped it around, got you thinking you gonna get caught up. When they the ones gonna get caught up. We're gonna be shining like new money. Okay. Any comments or questions? I'll read some more of that tomorrow. I think it got about 5 or 6 more chapters. Any comments or questions before we go? Okay. Everybody good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. I'm hoping you see the contrast in it. Everything they got you. Matter of fact, everything is right here. Enoch said this long before JC came, before they concocted him. And now all of a sudden, the very things that Enoch was saying, they got him over there coming out of JC mouth. So get a chance, read that. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.
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 What we doing scripture tonight, sir? Excuse me.
Somebody got one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ezekiel 44 and verse 15. It says, but the priests of the Levites, the son of Zodok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary, when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat and the blood, saith the Lord God. Excuse me. The blood. What part of the blood is the blood from the offering that they're giving from the first
From
uh,
sacrifices from the animals.
fruits?
That's the blood of the sacrifices from the animals.
Okay, the animal blood. Okay, yes, sir.
Right. Exactly. And then that Zodak is, if you go back in the scriptures, the Most High started with Aaron, but you notice during the time of Samuel, when Samuel was born, Aaron's 2 sons was wicked. They tried to put a strange fire. They tried to put a strange fire on the altar, and they was killed. So that lineage changed over. It became from Aaron's lineage through Zodak, which you just read.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Anybody got anything else? Comments?
Shalom. Brother Leonard, you'll be reading out of 97 tomorrow.
From 97 to 108, I think. The last chapter is 108. From
Okay.
91, from 92 to 108 is, they call it the epistles of Enoch. But all it is
okay.
what Enoch had to tell his son before he passed.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Okay, anybody else got anything? Shalom. Shalom and another shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this, and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is, and the Godhead.